Hello, everybody. Hey, happy Friday. Guys, I hope you're well. I'm over here at my office here at Simoson Building, right in the heart of the other side of the tracks here in the CBD. Thank you, guys, for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few moments with me. You know, the other day, I read your comments. I do everything I can to improve your experience with me. And the only way to do that is to get feedback. Somebody said to me the other day, they said, Mr. Muewa, I do watch you, but your hand motions are a bit exaggerated. I mean, you're all over the place. Your hands are, guys, I'm a very animated person. And I know sometimes I go overboard with the hands, but I'm a very sort of vociferously animated person. I'm not one of these people that sits and talks with their hands folded. I don't do that. So if that bothers you, can we agree? Can we at least agree to disagree? Can we do that? I'd appreciate that. A few shout outs to you guys before I begin. Please tell me in the comments below if you can hear me loud and clear. Those are the two words that I crave to hear from you. The moment you say, Simon Muewa, you are loud and clear. Oh, I'll tell you, it's like music to my ears. There's nothing worse than a broadcast that is inaudible, a broadcast that is unclear. Irritates the heck out of me. Okay, so just tell me in the comments. Somebody says louder, soon clear. What does soon clear mean? I think you mean so clear. Hi, Uncle Simon. This is Isaac. Isaac is one of our regulars. Thank you, Isaac. Crystal. Somebody says it's crystal clear. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Guys, let's talk about it. As many of you know, incidentally, a few minutes ago, it's just been thrown out there on the wireless that the News Diggers editor-in-chief has been summoned by the police. I can't wait to hear what that's about. Now, notwithstanding, as long as listen, guys, here's the thing. As long as you are a Zambian, I've lived long enough to know this, that as long as you speak, as long as you write, as long as you're a Zambian, at some stage in your life, you will rub shoulders with the police. I'm 54 years old. Honey, I've had my share of encounters with the police. I've had my share of encounters at the courthouse. I'm being sued right now by a former permanent secretary of the Ministry of Health for something that I allegedly said. And of course, you roll with the punches. You roll with you do what you can. It's a bit of a strain, but you just have to roll with the punches. That's just life. Life works that way. I'll never forget my dad saying to me, he said, son, in life, you get sued or you sue. And the key is to try and minimize that as much as possible. Also, on a personal note, I have to mention to you that I'm at a place in my life now where I really don't want to be in conflict with everybody. I don't. I mean, I'm now going towards the end. I've lived 50 plus years, and if I'm fortunate and blessed, I may have 50 more, maximum. I want to live the rest of my 50 years. The Word of God says, live peaceably among men. I want that. I want to be able to walk down the road and not worry that I offended someone or I said something out of turn or I made somebody upset. I don't want to live like that. I really don't. I want to live a peaceable life, the Word of God says. Is that achievable? Well, I don't know. I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So, guys, let's talk about this. I have a message for Mr. Gilbert Liswaniso, the UPND National Youth Chairperson. Now, let me say at the very outset of this broadcast, because I know some of you think that I'm going to burst out of the gates and say something crazy. Let me be clear. Gilbert Liswaniso and I are actually friends. I first met Gilbert Liswaniso at the inauguration of President Hakainde Hichilema. This was back when Lungu was handing over power to the instruments of power to our current president. And I was over at Hero Stadium covering that event. And there were many different media houses that were present that day. You remember it. I've documented this. It's on my social media. It's on my Facebook. It's on my YouTube. It's on my Insta. It's on my digital footprint. And I remember, when you go to these events, I want to give you a backstory. When you go to these political events under the banner or under the umbrella of media, your job, my job, our job is to videotape everything that's going on there. That's our job. When I pull my camera out or my phone and I begin to record the proceedings at that event, at the inauguration, our job is to cover it. And so there I was doing my thing. And then these UPND cadres, they saw me. And guys, I've noticed in my lifetime, because I'm anti-kada, I've always been. I've never liked cadres because I've experienced the rough end of categorism. Here at City Market, Simon Mwewa Lane, Kalusha Walia Road, Lumumba Road, for many years, this was a hub. This was the epicenter of categorism here in the CBD. I experienced it firsthand. I've experienced cadres threatening to kill me. I've experienced cadres breaking down my door, 200 of them come into my office with brandishing knives and all types of screwdrivers and weapons, saying, I remember one time Kada said to me, from now on, don't walk down the street. Come with your car, drive into your Simonson building, leave your car, sit in the office. When you knock off, you go home. We never want to see you on the street. Kadas said that to me. I looked at them and I said, the devil is a liar. You're not going to stop me from walking down the street. We were here before you guys were even born. I came here when I was 17 years old. Back in 1986, 87, 88. We were here before you ever darkened the doorsteps of this part of the CBD. So how dare you insinuate? How dare you instruct me? How dare you threaten to harm me because I want to walk down the street in a place of my work? I've experienced categorism. And so over the years, I said all of that to say this. Over the years, I can smell cadres. I can smell them. I can sense them. It's like a spidey sense. Okay, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I can be anywhere, and there's a sound. There's a specific, particular, unique sound that cadres have. It's in their voices. It's in the tone of their voice. It's in the ambiance that they create. They create a very tense, volatile atmosphere. And so when I was at the Hero Stadium, Hakainde Hichilema was being inaugurated as president. There were these UPND cadres dressed in gray suits. The moment they saw me, the first thing they said to me, "Why utukopa?" And I responded. I said, "What do you mean? I'm here covering. What's that tukopa?" And then they start telling their friends, "Hey, chai sachi tambara chile tukopa." So I said, "Guys, I'm here to cover this event." "We not tukopa. Apope ne abuka." They start gathering, and one guy threatened to grab my phone. I mean, I go through this all the time. It was at that event that Gilbert Liswaniso came to my rescue. I want you to get that. Those UPND cadres. Now remember, this was before Hakainde Hichilema announced that there will be no categorism. Okay? This was when he was being inaugurated. So in as far as the cadres, the UPND cadres were concerned, in their minds at that time, they were thinking, we are going to take over where the PF cadres took over. So you know. So they were thinking, now we are the new ones, we are the new thugs on the block. So it was Gilbert Liswaniso who came to my rescue, and he said, and he was very polite. That was the first time I'd ever met him. That was the first time I'd ever conversed with him. You know, he walked up to me in a very polite way. He said, Mr. Mwewa, is there a problem? I explained. Of course, I was very animated. For those of you that have watched that video, it's there on my Facebook. If you search, it's on there, because I was recording the whole thing. I was recording it. I wasn't doing it live because, as you know, within the Hero Stadium, it's very difficult to get a live signal. Recording live videos, streaming live in Hero Stadium is difficult. The signal's terrible in there. So I had to resort to recording the thing. I recorded it, and then later I edited it in post. So I explained to Gilbert, I said, Gilbert, I'm here to cover this event under the umbrella of media. If Gilbert Liswaniso turned to them and said, this is media. He's just covering the event. He wants to show the audience what's happening here. Leave him. He's not bothering you. Don't bother him. That's how those chaps left me alone, because of Gilbert Liswaniso's words. So my point in saying that is, my message to Gilbert today is not because, I'm going to say something or I'm against him. As far as I'm concerned, that man helped me at a time when I needed. Because, when I go, guys, notice, you have to know this. I don't hire personal security. I don't do that. Okay, I don't walk around vlogging with security around. I don't do that. You know why? Because I'm a free man of this city. I don't feel I need that. So, when I go to these places to cover these events, I'm not under heavy security. You must know that. So, that passed. And people don't realize, just one more word on categorism. People don't realize how close we came to bloodshed in this country after the UPND won. You have no idea how much anger, how much rage that was bottled up within the hearts of the UPND cadres who suffered under the hands of the PF cadres. The UPND cadres came with the idea of revenge. And in some cases, some people might say rightfully so, because the truth is, Bane, you don't know the stories. Alakwadi ama stories, Bane, UPND people suffered. Badi chudide under the PF. You have no idea. So as far as they were concerned, the UPND guys, they were thinking this is our time to revenge. Thankfully, when HH stood up and said no categorism, he changed the trajectory of this country, literally. And I will never stop talking about that, because that is something I saw firsthand. I saw it with my eyes and I couldn't believe it. Hakainde Hichilema said, you can wear anything you want. You can wear red, you can wear green. You can be associated with any political party of your choosing. Nobody should victimize you for that. For the first time I saw it in the market, I couldn't believe it. I was walking around thinking, am I dreaming? Is this a dream? Is this a nightmare? I can't believe that people are walking side by side in City Market without any conflagration, without any conflict, without any discourse, without any anger, rage, and fury. I couldn't believe it. He changed it. So here it is. Now we've got a different set of rules. It doesn't mean that categorism doesn't exist. It means categorism doesn't exist in the way that it existed in the PF. But in the PF, anyway, I don't want to go into that. What I want to focus in on is this issue I want to bring to you. So here's my message to, Mr. Gilbert Liswaniso, as you know, is the UPND national chairperson. He's in charge of the youth nationwide. Let me begin with what he said that I like. He was recently a guest on Hot FM, and he said that and this is not a quote, this is a summation. I'm paraphrasing when I say this, but the soul of the message is accurate. And it's this. Gilbert Liswaniso said, free education will help our people make informed decisions. And this is vital. This is very, very important. We have come from a past where there was a general idea, there was this notion that only marketeers and poor people led the way in terms of election results. For many years, we had this idea that, it was the majority who are the poor, who are the displaced, who are the unfortunate, who have less than. They were the ones that decided the political trajectory of a nation. For years, we went through that. With education, that's going to change. And increased voter registration amongst the educated is vital. I remember not too long ago, many years ago, one of the things that Jesse Jackson did in America was he mobilized the black vote. Because for many years, black Americans used to think, well, even if we vote, it doesn't make any difference. White people are the ones that sort of lead the charge. Jesse Jackson went from east to west, south to north, to preach the message of voter registration amongst black people. He told the black Americans, he said, you register to vote so that your voice can be heard. Forget this nonsense that it's only white people that lead the trajectory. You as a black American, when you vote, when you register, and you register in numbers, you participate in the electoral process. It took years for African Americans to think that way. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why this message is very, very important. Gilbert Liswaniso said, an increased voter registration amongst the educated is vital. You know why? Because now people will make informed decisions as far as presidential candidates and parliamentarians and councilors are concerned. We will now move into an area where people will make informed decisions. And I agree with that. Now, let me talk about what I disagree with, okay? Something that Gilbert Liswaniso alluded to. He sort of suggested that the UPND are going to be in office for more than 23 years. According to the source of information that I got, Gilbert Liswaniso seemed to believe that because the UPND was in opposition for 23 years, it stands to reason and it would make sense for them to be in office for another 23 years, which I disagree with. And here's my position. The UPND will not rule, okay? And in my view, this word rule is the wrong word. You can't use this word. We no longer speak like this. But I'm quoting, the UPND will not rule for 23 years. They will serve for as long as the Zambian people decide. It's not up to a clique of people. It's up to the Zambian people. It's up to you. It's up to me. Far be it from anyone, whether it's UPND, whether it's the MMD, whether it's the whoever it is. Far be it from anyone to say, we'll rule. No, guys, understand There's a difference between rule and serve. I always say this. We do not live in a totalitarian state. Zambia does not have a monarchy in as far as the governance of this nation is concerned. Hakainde Hichilema is not a king. He's not a prince. He's not a sultan. He's not an emperor. He's not a ruler. He's a man. He's a public official elected by the people of Zambia to serve this nation. That's different from ruling. Nobody rules anymore. Okay? Nobody rules. And guys, you must get this. Get this through your minds, guys. Presidents serve, they don't rule. Okay? As long as when you get that, you're heading in the right direction. And let me also say to the party members of the UPND, guys, it's very important for you to echo what the president says. If you watch President Hakainde Hichilema, he will never use the word rule. He always says serve. It is a privilege to serve. He always says that. So the key, Mueva UPND, to help you be on the same page with the leadership of the party and the leadership of this administration, for you to be on the same page, it's very simple. Just echo what the leader says. That's it. So that when you do that, when you echo what the president says, when you echo the president's sentiments, when you echo the president's passion, when you echo the president's message, it means you are in sync with the president. It means you're on the same page. No, but president Barera to save, you order under to rule. It means you're not in sync. To be in sync, echo leadership. Ooh, that's a good one. That works. That will preach anywhere. It'll preach in a corporation. It'll preach in a company. It'll preach in a family. It'll preach anywhere. It'll preach here. It'll preach in Madagascar. It will preach in South Louisiana, Shreveport, Bossier City, Denham Springs. It'll preach. Echo leadership so that you are in sync. In sync meaning on the same page. Boom. Okay. All right. I've been speaking for 23 minutes. A couple of your comments, and then I'll call it. Here it is. It is the people that decide. Are you hearing this? It's you. It's me. We decide. We are the captains of this ship. SHIP. We are the captains, you and I. Far be it from anyone to tell you, no, if we were going to rule. Rule? Are you serious? Nobody rules. People serve as a direct consequence of being elected into office by an electorate. I mean, this is the reason I find this young girl, the girl that has lost her mind, the girl Ethel in America. And by the way, I'm offended that you guys think that I asked for 2,000 kwacha. At least in Gayadi 200,000. You know, but you disappoint me. You really do. I find it strange that this girl, Ethel, got on video and said, I'm going to remove HH. I'll remove you. Well, it's not up to you. It's not up to anybody. It's up to the people. You cannot physically remove a sitting head of state. The only way you do that is if you go through the process, not by declaration. Anybody can stand in front of a camera and say, I want to be president, but have you done the groundwork? Do you have representation on the ground? Do you have a registered political party? Do you have people that support you? Do you have a constituents? Do you have support? Do you have the financial backing? Do you have a message for the Zambian people? This young girl, Ethel, turns around and says, no, our president, I'm a IG 10. Each province, I'll have an IG. Just talking nonsense. And it really breaks my heart when you hear young people just talking fluff, nonsense. And I must tell you, the young girl really, truly has lost her mind. She's not all there. You know, she says, no, I know I'm a dual citizen, but I'm going to give up my American citizenship to come and run for president. But if I fail, if I don't manage to run for president, it's okay. I'll go back to America. Just guys, if you're going to be a serious contender, my advice to young people now, get involved in the process. Speak sense. Don't use Facebook to fool around. If you are a serious political contender, present yourself as a serious political contender. Do the work. Put in the hours. Show the commitment. Show the passion. Not just declaring on Facebook just because you are able to speak. Come on, guys. Come on. Tell them so that they should listen. Yes. Spot on. Well, hey, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great lunch. Take care of yourselves and each other. You go run. You go run and tell that.